Hi guys, this is Scribbly with another pen review, and today we are going to have a look at a fairly interesting pen that has been sent to me by a company called Verge. Verge, if you look at their website, verge-style.com, you're going to see that they are essentially a company that makes Kickstarter funded products. They do make, I think they've made a leather wallet. They've made a world map in which you can scratch the places where you've been, and they have also made a pen that I have been kindly sent for review right here. And the pen that we are talking about is one of those pens that you could call a minimalist pen. One of the many machined pens that have been churned out on Kickstarter those days. It's called the Sens pen. Comes in a already quite minimalist packaging. Outer cardboard sleeve just says Sens, nothing more than that, which is the name of the pen. This is a Rollerball pen. You then slide out a wooden box that is covered with a small cardboard sheet here that says pen makes sense, which I assume is somehow reminiscent of where is it, the Sens pen name. Then the pen, you will find it resting in here. I got the pen in space gray. I think it's also available in black. It is or was available in a gold or rose gold color. Then also in a polished silver finish. Just check out the verge-style.com page and you'll see which finishes are available or currently available. The pen costs between $50 and $60. I think originally it was like $75. They now reduced the price to $55 for some reason. Pen comes out like that, and the cool thing about that box is that if you flip it around, it'll serve as a pen stand on your desk, right? Which I find is kind of neat. Not sure if it makes a whole lot of sense because, right, the pen is called Sens pen. Anyway, if that is not the only pen that you are going to have, and that thing here takes up a good amount of space on your desk. Here we have a Lamy logo ballpoint pen as a size reference. I'll use that to compare to that pen in a minute, just to give you an idea of how large that piece of wood here actually is. So if it's not the only pen that you permanently have on your desk, that thing might take up a lot of space on your desk. So I actually don't know. It's a nice idea. I don't know how useful it really is. It's a minimalist pen. If you're a minimalist person and you just have that pen, your iPhone and your MacBook on your desk, then it's a cool thing, but I've shown that to you and you've seen it. The pen itself is a minimalist pen. There's not a whole lot going on, but at the same time there is a lot going on. Very sleek lines. It's essentially a teardrop shaped pen that is thinner here and then tapers up into that teardrop shape, and then tapers down here towards where you're going to extend the point of the pen. Has a knurled twist action mechanism that I'm going to show you in depth in a minute. And then you only find, and I'll show you that close up in a minute as well, the Verge logo here and another Verge logo here on top of the knurl. Let's get a little bit closer, and we do see this nice space gray, slightly brushed finish, or not exactly brushed, like more a little bit like wabi-sabi style, or like it's rather like looks a bit stone washed. It's not highly glossy and it's not matte. It's somewhere smack in the middle, which I find kind of nice. This is where the pen is going to extend. The tip is going to extend. I'm going to do that now just to show you. I'm gonna come out like this, which is going to happen by you just twisting that knurled knob here at the back of the pen for about probably a full turn, but that works very smoothly, very easy to operate. So that's a really nice feature of the pen, because you can also operate it single-handedly. That's the one thing of the pen is if you operate it in the wrong direction, there is no inner whatever mechanism that really lets you know, there's no physical click or whatever that lets you know that you have now extended the tip or that you're accidentally rotating it into the wrong direction. If you keep rotating that thing, you'll just rotate that knob here back out, and then you get access to the refill, and we can talk about that right now already as we hear, which is the Schmidt capless P8126 refill. A very smooth, very nice refill. It's really a great refill, rides wonderfully. And you see the threading on here. That is just some coarse threading. Inside they've hidden a little message. Good luck, it says in here. Quite neat little thing. Some rough threading, 3 threads on here, a double rubber O-ring, which makes for a smooth operating mechanism. And then we have that knurled back end here, and then the Verge logo here at the top. See that? And then here at the top of the pen we have another Verge logo. Screw that thing back in, and as said, this is how you do extend the pen, right? So you just gotta look, tip is back in, and then you stop screwing, because as said, there's no inner whatever mechanism that would prevent you from, you know, just screwing the whole thing back out. But you'll get the twist pretty quickly. It's a very nice balanced pen. I like the teardrop shape here because like it makes it for a little bit a more chunky girth down here, which makes the pen really comfortable for holding and writing. It's a super balanced pen, not very heavy because it's aluminium. Looks great in the hand, and the nice thing about this capless refill is that you can leave that pen uncapped for like forever, literally, for a very long time, as a matter of fact, and just pick it up and it'll start writing again. Super cool pen for meetings and whatever. It's a clipless pen, so be aware that that might roll around on your desk and all that, but I find overall it's a super cool pen. I mean, it looks nice. This teardrop shape is great. I find the knurling here super nice. The logos here look, all that looks great. Super balanced in hand. Overall, for 50 euro or $50 or whatever, that's a really nice pen. Let's do a small size comparison to a Lamy logo, which is probably a ballpoint pen that many people may have at home. So I think it's safe to say that it's actually essentially the same size than a Lamy logo, just that the girth where you grip the pen is a little bit thicker. But then of course, if you prefer to grab the pen at a slightly up here, then you're going to have a narrower grip, which also is all right because the pen is plenty long enough to write with it. At the end of the review, we are going to do a quick writing sample with this very nice refill with the Verge Sens pen that is sort of a minimalist. Rollerball. I think when you order the pen, you can choose in between a black and a blue refill. This is a very nice black, actually. I do like these refills. And yeah, I think the concept of the pen is really nice. And overall, it is a pretty neat pen, a nice pen. 50 euro, $50 is affordable. You get a pen stand if you're into those things. So I think overall, if we look at the pen as such, it's a very nice pen. There's one last thing that I would like to mention, or that I feel I have to mention towards the end of the review. And I've thought about that for quite a while. What I do with that fact is that there is another pen out there that essentially looks exactly the same, but it just costs 3 times as much. Now, I have not come to that myself. Let me bring in my MacBook for a minute. There's Matthew Morse out there from Nib and Ink. He has also reviewed that pen. I mean, you know, we pen reviewers and bloggers, we sort of know each other more or less directly. I don't know Matthew Morse personally, but I know his blog. You know, the blogosphere is sort of connected, so you at times also follow the work of others. You see what they do, and Matthew has pointed out in his review, let me scroll down here a little bit. He has also pointed out that this pen is almost a direct copy of a pen that is called the Ayoto pen, and I go to the Ayoto website here, right here. You see the URL up there, ayoto.com/shop. If you want to check that out and follow up on that for yourself, and you'll see, right, I mean, it's not hard to see down to the placement of the logo, the teardrop shape, the knurled top. It's a slightly different knurling, which also Matthew Morse points out and all that. But it's not hard to see that the pen is, to my eye as well as to Matthew's eye, and I felt that I just also have to point that out, is almost a direct copy of that pen at about 50% to, or a third to a sixth of the price. You, my dear viewer, may do with that fact whatever you would like. I also felt the need in terms of Gin House and Hero fountain pens, copying Sailor pens and Lamy pens and whatsoever. I felt the need to say that. This is not that I am saying that that is an intentional direct copy of the Ayoto pen. It's just something that I felt I have to say so that you have the full information, my dear viewer, and you can do with that information whatever you like. I've been sent that pen for review by Verge. Thanks a lot for that. I try to be fair and review the pen as the pen that it is that I have been sent for review. I hope I did an okay job in appreciating the pen for what it is, and if I appreciate the pen for what it is a great pen at a great price, at a great design, that writes flawlessly, that functions flawlessly, and that looks great. It's just very similar to the Ayoto pen. That's that with the review. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye bye.